You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Brandon Sewell. Each week, we discuss topics important to our diverse community. This week, we are diving into spring theater. Spring musicals are ramping up in the high school theater world, and we here at GHS-TV are excited for the upcoming PPP musical, The Addams Family. You see, theater helps us see a different perspective from our own. And valuable lessons can be learned in theater, whether you're on the high school stage or a professional one. The Memphis Ostranders Awards, for example, honors the excellent talents of the greater Memphis theater community. Here to tell us more about the awards is Elizabeth Perkins, the director of the Ostranders Awards. Well, thank you for joining me, Ms. Perkins.
Thanks for having me.
So, can you explain to the viewers what the Ostranders Awards are?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Ostranders Awards exist to recognize and celebrate excellence in theater, whether it's collegiate, community, or professional. And we've been going strong since 1984. So wow. It's a privilege and a joy to get to see all of the theater in town and honor that.
Well, how did they start and where does the name come from?
So it actually started just as the Memphis Theater Awards. And back in those days, in the early 80s, we actually had things called newspapers. And they actually had things called theater critics. And so a couple of them got together with what is now called Arts Memphis. It was the Memphis Arts Council. And said, we spend all year kind of tearing each other down and criticizing, so let's have one night where we celebrate each other. And so they got together, Ken Neal at Contemporary Media, and the Arts Council got together and started throwing a party and giving out awards for excellence in theater. Jim Ostrander was a wonderful Memphis actor, just a longtime legend. He was one of the great actors that everyone wanted to work with. He unfortunately passed away in 2002, and so at that time they renamed the awards in his honor. So they're just the Ostranders now.
So who and what are recognized during the ceremony?
We adjudicate collegiate, community, and professional theater. And a couple of years ago, we started seeing a shift that we had a lot more up-and-coming theater in Memphis, and so we changed our divisions so that now there's, it's very creatively named Division 1 and Division 2, because we don't have anything better. But Division 1 is for the kind of, not necessarily the bigger, but the more established community and professional theaters. They have a full-time artistic staff, they might have a technical staff. Most of them have their own building, that sort of thing. Division 2 is for any educational institution. So the Rhodes Theater Guild, the University of Memphis, we're hoping Southwest will come back, and also any theater that does not have a full-time artistic staff. So this might be, we have friends who are just putting together a show and they're renting a space and doing it, and we'll come see it. So we're excited to keep growing and expanding the Ostranders.
Well, Ms. Perkins, what does it mean to the actors and crew to be recognized in such a way?
As a stage manager, I've never gotten to win an Ostrander, so I don't know, because we don't recognize stage managers, because when stage managers do good work, they're not recognized. But I think it's just fun to know that your peers are, because our judges are peers of those who are recognized, to know that they see and appreciate the work that they're doing. And we try not to say it's the best actor because, you know, theater is subjective, but it is just for excellence in acting. And so I think it really just makes you feel good that you've been recognized. I do know the theaters often have the plaques displayed, and the University of Memphis uses it to help with grant writing. So that's super cool to know that it's helping them build their own programs and continue the work of theater education.
Well, what is the criteria one must meet to be nominated in the different categories?
So there's about 42 categories all told. We divide them into plays and musicals, and then in Division 1 and Division 2. And then there's everything from lighting design to the acting awards to all of the scenic design, all of those things. So the judges, who this year we have 37 judges who are seeing all of the shows, and I'll tell you more about them in a minute, but the judges see all of the shows and they have literally a rubric where they kind of, again, I hate to say score, but they are kind of, rating and marking each show they see. And then at the end of the year, we have a very, 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 very long meeting, about 9 to 12 hours, where we go through all of the shows that we saw. And it can get pretty heated because people have their favorites, and so we'll break down, what makes one thing different from the other. And then we have the 5 nominees in each category.
And who are these judges that you mentioned?
Yeah, they're awesome people that you probably have seen around town. So many of them have degrees in theater, have taught theater, have been judges. We have a couple who've been judges with us almost from the beginning, so they've been around a while. But they apply, so each year in the spring, I'll make sure it's on our website and we'll send out a big notice that if anyone's interested in being a judge, they can send in their application. We have 7 judges who are kind of the super judges. They are our administrative judges, and they will help me interview and select new judges. But we're looking for people who have experience in the technical side of theater, the directing side of theater, acting, all of those things, so that we have a good, diverse group of judges who are looking at different things when they're watching a show. And then we look for people who have a strong interest in theater education to serve in that division too, because we're dealing more with students in that division. And then once they come on board, we spend a lot of time training our judges and helping them really understand how to compare productions.
Well, what is something people may not know or understand about local theater?
Memphis has one of the most unusual theater scenes that I know of. We are, for a city our size, we have an incredible amount of theaters. Our judges this year are seeing, I think it's 56 productions. That's insane that there's something you can see every weekend if you wanted to. And so I hope people appreciate just the breadth of theater that our city offers.
Well, finally, what is your favorite thing about being a part of the Ostranders organization?
Honestly, getting to see all this theater. So I also have the pleasure of serving as a high school judge, and I think you're talking to them in a minute. So between the HSMTAs and the Ostranders, I get to see theater from high school all the way up to the professional level, and it's what I love to do.
Well, Ms. Perkins, it was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. To find out more about Memphis Ostranders, visit them on the web at memphisostranders.com. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll learn about the award ceremony that celebrates high school thespians.
It's creepy, and it's kooky, and it's coming to the popular Pike Playhouse stage. The Addams Family Musical runs March 23rd through April 2nd. You can purchase your tickets by going to ppp.org. As a Morticia would say, Wednesday is growing up. She'll be Thursday before you know it. So hurry and get your tickets today.
"45 years ago, the Poplar Pike Playhouse came into existence under the direction of Frank Bluestein. And over the years, his reputation and the reputation of the program grew. And so students from the community just clamored to be a part of this program.
God bless us, everyone.
A student comes into Germantown High School that's interested in theater. They're going to start an introduction to theater. You get a great overview of what theater is. And then, if you want to continue in our program, then you have a choice of taking 2 other classes. You can take either acting or tech theater. That is very hands-on, and the students will learn a lot about set building, lighting design, sound design.
Something that's very unique about PPP is that the students do everything here. We do the lights, we do the set, we do the acting, we do the dancing. Everything you see backstage and on stage, a student is doing it. It is completely student ran.
Tonight I gotta cut loose.
The Popular Pike Playhouse has definitely still grown my love for theater.
We want to do great work, and we really want this to be an experience for students that they will hold on to for the rest of their lives, and that they will take the things that they learned into their lives and help shape them into really productive citizens.
Everybody, 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 cut, cut loose.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. Modeled after the Tony Awards, the Orpheum's High School Musical Theater Awards recognizes achievements in high school programs around the Mid-South. The ceremony brings together participating schools to promote and celebrate high school musical theater. Joining us today to talk more about the High School Musical Theater Awards is Lena Black, the Education and Engagement Manager for the Orpheum. Well, thank you for joining me.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So, as an actor, the HSMTAs are really one of the highlights of my year. How did the award show come about, given that it's been less than 20 years old?
Sure, so it's about 14 years old this year, and it's actually a what we call a regional awards program, which is an offshoot of a much larger program called the Jimmy Awards. So the Orpheum has this program because the Jimmy Awards exist, which are the National High School Musical Theater Awards. And because we create this program at the Orpheum, we are able to then send two students, a Best Actor and Best Actress nominee, to the national ceremony. So that's the only requirement of the national program, is that we send on two students to participate. So aside from that, we can do whatever we want with our own awards program. So we have over 20 awards that we give out. We can create new awards if we want to. We're able to have as many schools participate as would like to participate. And that's how we were able to get this program here in Memphis.
And how many schools participate?
So this year we've got 39
Wow.
adjudicated schools, which means that we send judges out to those schools to see those shows. And then we also have 9 schools participating in what we call the non-adjudicated category, which means that if their school doesn't have a musical theater program or is not able to produce a musical, but they have interest, if they have students that are interested in musical theater, they can send those students to be a part of the opening and closing production numbers that we have in our ceremony, so that we're increasing engagement and awareness of other schools in our tri-state area to have all of them be a part of the program if they want to be.
And there are so many different categories, but what are the big ones?
So the big ones, as I mentioned, are Best Actor and Best Actress, because those 2 awards then get to go on to the Jimmy Awards in New York City. Those 2 students get to spend a week in New York and perform on a Broadway stage and perform on the national at the National High School Musical Theater Awards. But also, Best Overall Production is always a big one. And we've got several other student creative and technical achievement awards that are always really exciting. Those have an application process that actually go into them, where students can nominate themselves. There's also an Inspiring Teacher Award where students can nominate their teacher if they have an outstanding theater teacher that they would like to have recognized. And then just lots of the other general Best Supporting Actor, Actress, Best Set, Best Costumes, Best Lighting. We kind of hit the whole, run the whole gamut and give an award for just about everything you can imagine.
So are the judges known, or are they kept a secret?
So we let everybody know, the judges in our program. We let them see when they come to the ceremony. There's bios. You can read about all of the judges that are there. However, we do keep them. We try to keep them a little bit undercover. We know that high school theater, 80 theater can be really nerve-wracking, but especially when you're young and you've worked so hard for these shows, knowing that judges are in the audience can be a little nerve-wracking. So we do try to keep them as secret as possible. I'm sure there are times that they are known that they're there, but we try to give them a voucher that lets them sneak in and see the show without anybody knowing that they're there.
So say one does get nominated for their lead role in their musical. What is the process like from there on?
So if you're nominated for a lead role, then you come to the Orpheum the week, we've added some extra time, 2 weeks before the ceremony happens, and you rehearse like crazy. There's a really cool number that all the leads participate in together. It's a huge medley of all the songs from the shows that got those people nominated, and they rehearse that medley, but they also rehearse their individual auditions, because when you go to the Jimmy Awards, your performance is actually judged at a separate judging. We have a separate meeting where a panel of judges come and judge the leads on a performance done that day. So they were judged and got the performance that they did at their school got them there, but then their audition in front of a panel of judges is what gets them to go to New York. So you spend a whole week preparing for both your audition and for the actual performance at the show.
Well, can you explain to the audience what the winners in the main acting categories get to do during the summer, the Jimmy Awards?
Yes, they get to go to the Jimmy Awards. So it's a fantastic week. It is jam-packed. I had the awesome privilege to go and be the chaperone this year that we send along with the 2 students that go. And man, they are working from sun up to sundown. It's a full day of rehearsal every single day, both for the awards ceremony and, again, their individual audition that they do, which helps determine who the actual winners are. We actually modeled the High School Musical Theater Awards program here very closely to what the Jimmys is like, so that everybody gets a little bit of a taste of what it is like. And then at the end of the week, they get to perform on Broadway, which is so, so cool.
Well, has the Mid-South ever had a Jimmy Award winner?
We've not had a winner. We had someone break into the top 8 one time. Wow. And last year, one of our students was in the top 16, so in the semifinals. And you may know, Germantown High School's own Bri Bagasima was the winner at the awards ceremony last year locally, and he got to go on to the Jimmys, and he had the time of his life. I was there, watched it all. He was incredible, and he represented Memphis and Germantown so well.
Well, an Orpheum group called the Star Council is heavily involved in this event. Can you tell me about their involvement?
Sure. Star Council is a volunteer organization for high school students. They have to apply to be a part of the program because we accept them so that we accept students that really have a heart for volunteering and community service. And everything that happens backstage and during the actual rehearsal process is all run by Star Council. We have as many volunteers as possible from Star Council come. They help run the check-in tables. They make sure that everything is running smoothly, and they even get to work the show backstage as well, handling all the technical elements along with our hired professionals.
Well, one final question before we go. When and where are the HSMTAs this year?
The HSMTAs are at the historic Orpheum Theater on Thursday, May 25th at 7 p.m. So mark your calendar.
Well, it was a pleasure talking with you, Ms. Black. Thank you so much.
Pleasure talking to you too. Thank you.
To learn more about Orpheum Memphis and the upcoming High School Musical Theater Awards, check out their website, orpheum-memphis.com. Coming up, we'll turn our attention on ourselves and discuss the Popular Pike Playhouse's spring musical. You're watching Crosstalk on GHS-TV.
It's creepy, and it's kooky, and it's coming to the Popular Pike Playhouse stage. The Addams Family Musical runs March 23rd through April 2nd. You can purchase your tickets by going to ppp.org. As a Morticia would say, Wednesday is growing up. She'll be Thursday before you know it. So hurry and get your tickets today.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Brandon Sewell. This week, we're exploring spring theater in Memphis. The Popular Pike Playhouse here at Germantown is getting ready to open at Addams Family on March 23rd. Full disclosure, I play Gomez Addams in the production. Helping my fellow student actors bring this musical to life is theater director Chad Hoy and Tim Wise, the music director. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Yeah.
So, Mr. Hoy, the Addams Family, such an iconic group of characters. Why did you choose it for your first musical at the PPP?
Well, I had the honor of being in the Addams Family several years ago in a local community theater, and I just had a blast with it. The music is so fun. It's characters we all know. And so after doing the show myself, I just thought I would like to experience it again. And so I've been wanting to do the show, direct it ever since I did it. I've been wanting to direct it for several years. And so when I came on board here, I thought this would be the perfect place to do it.
Well, Mr. Wise, what were your thoughts when Mr. Hoy pitched the idea to you?
When Mr. Hoy first pitched the idea, I thought to myself, first off, the Addams Family is such a well-known TV show, and knowing that the show Wednesday had just come out on, I think, Netflix, a show like this would gain a lot of popularity and would help give us a nice, diverse audience. And so I thought, that's a great idea. And the more I started talking with Mr. Hoy and the more we started exploring the script and the music, it just really got to be an exciting adventure, hearing how fun the music can be and how dynamic and diverse the entire script is altogether. So it was an exciting choice, I think.
So, Mr. Hoy, what is the Addams Family musical about?
If I were to sum it up, it's about family, the Addams Family. It's really a sweet story. I think the main focus in the story is Wednesday, which is fantastic because we have Wednesday, like he mentioned, on Netflix, and it's her journey of being in love and trying to navigate that with dealing with her family and with Lucas's family, the boy she falls in love with, and it's just how everybody is involved in that narrative. And it's in itself a love story, which is surprising whenever you think the Addams Family. It kind of has this creepy, macabre feel when you think of them, but really it's a sweet story.
Well, I, for one, was excited about the challenge of playing Gomez Addams. For both of you, Mr. Hoy, you first. What were you excited about in regards to the show?
I was excited to get going with the cast. We have such a talented group of students here. I think that everybody fits the role so well, and they're bringing so much to the table with their characters that I was just excited to kind of get going and exploring the characters and the songs and everything with everybody and just seeing what everybody brings to the table.
And what about you, Mr. Wise?
One of the most unique things I find about when musical theater auditions come around is you meet new people that you may not have seen on campus before, come out and audition, and it's like, oh, I didn't know this student existed. Oh, I didn't know that, this student was interested in this. And so it helps you be able to see, like, okay, who can we draw into the circle of more fine arts involvement? So it exposes you to a lot of people on campus. It also allows you to grow from there, not only bring them into the fine arts program, but then you learn how to help them develop skills. And as Mr. Hoy said, getting to work on the musical, that's always the exciting part, is like once we've got the cast selected and we've started the work process, working on scenes and developing the music and, watching the set come to life and, watching the choreographer work all the time and see the joy that, comes onto the faces of the people who are on stage, when things start to click and they start understanding the show and its concepts and, the role in which they play.
Well, a musical production is a 2, sometimes 3-month journey. And Mr. Wise, I'm sure there have been some obstacles along the way. Mm-hmm. If you could speak upon those.
I think every school that produces a musical is going to have lots of obstacles to overcome. One of the ones that comes to my mind initially is just kids that do theater are busy. And it's not because they do theater, but it's because they generally do everything. And so sometimes balancing student schedules can be a challenge. And we like to work together with students to be able to, allow them to do the things outside of our own stuff. So that presents a challenge. Another challenge, I think, is just, learning who you're working with. For example, this is Mr. Hoy's first year at Germantown High School. This is really only my second year. And so, getting to work together, it's our first time doing that together. So that presents a challenge within itself. But it's an exciting challenge that, we're always ready to face together.
Well, Mr. Hoy, what has surprised you about this journey so far?
What has surprised me about this journey is, it's going fast. It's coming. We're less than a month away from the show, and just everything that we have accomplished and everything we still have to do. It's surprising just everything to make the show come together, whether we're talking about the choreography or we're talking about the set, or we're talking about the acting. So it's kind of surprising just to get there.
That's another big part of the challenge is like, you think, oh, you've got all this time, and then bam, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, we're a month out,
Well, this year we're relying on a number of adjunct staff, I would say. Like I'm talking the choreographer, the costumer, the props person. Why was it necessary to bring them on for this production?
I feel like it was necessary to bring them on because we want to give the kids exposure to maybe people outside of here that excel at what they do. So we want to bring people in that can really show them some excellent choreography or really make some excellent costumes. And what's great is the kids all work with them too. So it's not just them coming in and here, take this because I made it. The kids are working with the costumer and the choreographer and such, and it's a collaborative effort. So yes, we're bringing people in from the outside, but also the kids have a big part of it too.
I really think that plays into a big part of diversity with, our cast and our crew and, all of us getting to work together.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Wise, when and where can people see the musical?
You can see the musical at Germantown High School in the Poplar Pike Playhouse, and the dates are March the 23rd, that weekend, and then the weekend of April 2nd as well, March 30th through April 2nd, I believe. So get your tickets, come see the show. It's going to be fantastic.
And finally, Mr. Hoy, what would you like to say to viewers about the musical?
I would like to say, come in expecting to see your typical Addams Family, like the movies and the cartoon and Wednesday, the show. But expect something deeper. There's some depth to this show. And so come in for fun, goofy, creepy stuff, but also, be prepared to be surprised with what you might come away with what you gather about the show.
Well, thank you both for coming on Crosstalk today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
To learn more about Poplar Pike Playhouse, visit our website, ppp.org. We hope you come see the Addams Family and all the other great productions opening this spring. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Brandon Sewell. From all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.